Ashe, brothers and sisters. Imhotep. If no one has told you they love you today, let me be the first. I love you. All right. This is going to be part 2 of the foundation of racism. All right. We're gonna move a little quickly and get this over with, but we want to start off with a message to the youth. We always want to start with our youth. All right. That's how important they are to us, and we always should have a message for them. We always should have something to tell them that will inspire them through the day. All right. So the message for the day to our youth. Well, first, let me define youth. Youth is what is I consider, and what most consider, is anyone 20 years younger than you. All right. So I don't want you to think when I say this is a message for the youth that I'm always talking about the adolescent. All right. A youth for me would be anybody in their 40s. All right. So I always should be able to have something to tell the youth that are youth to me. All right. A person that's, younger than me. So the older you get, the more youth you get behind you. All right. And it's an opportunity. So we want to take advantage of that. So the message today is this. Yesterday is your past. That is your history. All right. Tomorrow is your future. That's why we look to the sun to see how bright it is. Today is all of our present. And that's why it is the Creator's gift to all of us. So we want to take advantage of a gift. We don't want to waste time. In the Caribbeans, I know in Jamaica, they say waste time. You know what I mean? You're too idle. You need to be busy. All right. So we want to motivate you. And one of the ways we want to motivate you is by telling you who you are, telling us who we are. All right. As Black people. So we're going to get on with it. That's the message for today. Let me make sure I'm not missing anything. I got that done. The next thing that we want to do is clean up. What I mean when I say clean up, we did part 1. I'll be honest with you. Let me bring up my timekeeper here so that I am there we go. Top end time. All right, we're doing good. We're on that 3 minutes. All right. I don't want to prolong this and I have to monitor my time. When I did the presentation, when I say clean up, I mean clean up on some of the things that I went over in the presentation yesterday that weren't 100% accurate. No problem, but let's clean it up. All right. One of the things that I need to clean up is I started off on the wrong foot from this page. When I got to this page, I was like, I need to really explain these images. So I should have had, rather than me minimizing and making these images larger, I should have had slides behind this slide of each of these images. I should have had 6 slides of each of these images. So that was a learning process, all right? But we learned that. So I have put images into this presentation of each of those, all right? The one correction I need to make is when I was talking about the tree of knowledge, I misspoke and I said the Greek mythology of the tree of knowledge. It's not the Greek mythology. It's the Egyptian mythology, all right? Once the Greek came, they took our mythology and put Greek in front of it. It's about erasing us, all right? Well, we're digging us up. There's one thing about the truth. The truth may set you free, all right? But it's one thing about the truth. When they hide it and when they hide it or bury it, they don't bury it deep. It's just below the surface. All you have to do is start looking for it. Sweep below, like they say, if you want to find something, look under your bed. well. So we're going to clean that out. We're going to clean everything up. Let's see, the Egyptian mythology. I had one observation. What was my observation yesterday? Okay. The one observation I made when I went back and I reviewed it after I edited it and everything is during my presentation, and I'm showing screens like this, they're minimized to me. I can't see them as much as you can see them when I edit it and I blow it up or whatever, and you're looking at it on YouTube. So when I do things like this screen, I'm not going to read all of this material. This is there for you. This is there for you to get a better understanding of what I may be narrating. All right. So I'm not going to read to you. Okay. I'm putting this here so that you can read. All right. And it's there. You know, you can take your time with it. That'll lessen my time in these presentations. And we can breeze right through it. All right. So that's the observation that I made, that, you know, I'm not going to take time to read this. When I pull it up, I'm going to narrate it a little bit and we're going to move on. But you come back and read it. All right. It's for you to make it easier. And then after you read it, go and do a little more research. Okay. Don't stop with what I'm showing. What I'm showing you is more to start your mind working. All right. It's to say, it's like turning on a switch. All right. Don't stop with this. Just understand. So when let's talk about this. When I started today, I said Ashe Imhotep. This tells you, this screen right here, it tells you what Ashe Imhotep means. It means I come in peace and harmony with the universe, in harmony with my ancestors. Okay, we have to, I'm not going to say what we have to do. I would encourage you to really start getting close to your ancestors. Okay? Don't let anyone tell you that your family, your mother, your father, your grandmother, your grandfathers, your aunts, your uncles, that from a child you grew up and they never showed you anything but love. They taught us the best they could. Don't let any religion or anybody teach you that once death comes, that now you need to be afraid of them. No. Death has only changed their form. Okay? See, we have been tricked to believe that we are human beings trying to have a spiritual experience. It's nothing further from the truth. We are spiritual beings on a human assignment. Okay? Let me see. Nobody needs to come in between us and our spirituality. You remember when well, if you don't remember, back in part 1, I was speaking of a child in the mother's womb and this, that, and the other. And when they're born, they realize that these are eyes and I have sight. Okay. When a child is born and they take their first breath, that is when their spirit becomes alive in a human. I'm a little off track, but it's important I inject this in here. That's why I say I'm gonna do the narrating, because I'm putting things on this page, but I'm gonna narrate some things outside of this page. Okay, and we'll go to the next page. All right. When a child is born and they take their first breath, they're inhaling the Spirit of God within them. Okay. The Egyptian mythology teaches that the meaning of spirit is breath. It's called the ka, the correct, the ka. We'll get more into that, but I'm just interjecting that because it goes back to part one, is why I needed to interject it, okay? So, going the wrong way. All right, let's back up. All right, so when a child is born, that first breath they take, that oxygen that fills their lungs for the first time is filling their lungs with the Spirit of God within that body that has grown in the mother's womb for 9 months. All right? So, we need to understand from the time of that first breath and our human experience starts, we should not be growing out of harmony with our Creator, is the point. All right. So, let's move on down. Okay, you want to, let's go back. Let's go over this one page because Amenhotep is, Moat, you remember her on this image. This is what she is, okay? And I wanted to put her definition because I wasn't prepared for what I gave you on this page. I wasn't prepared, all right? So this is explaining who Ma'at is, right? I added Imhotep to the part 2, and this is who Imhotep is. You got it? Okay? So when you put these two together in a greeting, well, you're greeting someone, and you say, Ashe, Ma'at, Imhotep. You're calling on the universe when you say Ashe. You're calling on the goddess Moat for her harmony, justice, righteousness, these things in the universe. And then when you call on Imhotep, you're putting these things together and you're saying, I'm coming in peace with the universe and I'm greeting you with harmony, justice, righteousness, and all of these things. I come to do you no harm. Okay? We have to take more control. That the only way, well, the most likely way, or we have to find a way that the only way we can have a bad day is if we step outside of our spirituality. We can't let things outside of our spirituality have that kind of control on us. Okay? I have said, I'm pretty sure you have said or heard others say it, man, why do they keep pushing my buttons? Every time I turn around, man, they just keep pushing my buttons. I pray and I ask God to touch them, Now listen to me. And ask them to stop pushing my buttons. Now, this is what I used to do. I'm telling you what I used to do. Lord, please make them stop pushing my buttons. I'm not going to call names, okay? I'm giving you an example. The message came to me. A message came to me. A thought is a message. Now, your thoughts come either from a source, your ancestors, the creator, the destroyer, or your own level of consciousness. That's a review, I think, of what we talked about in part 1. Okay. So, the message came to me. Why don't you just remove the buttons? You don't have to pray to do that. You take control, Raymond Witcher. And I'm telling the youth and everybody else that will be watching this, you take control. If you have a button pusher, just remove the buttons. When they come to push, they be like, man, where are my buttons? Where are my buttons? Who took my buttons? And they're going to come to you and say, hey, you seeing my buttons? You say, yeah, you don't have them anymore. Okay, so take control. We're growing to take control of our lives, our situations, to heal our bodies and our minds. And once we heal them, we can keep them healthy. All right. So that's what this slide is about. Okay, we're doing good on time. We're at about 15 minutes. Okay, we're going to move on to the next one. This slide, I wanted to show you when we were talking about the pineal gland. You see in the right corner, all right? When we were talking about that slide yesterday, if I had prepared, this is what you would have got. Okay, so I overshot my boundaries, but we're going to clean it up. I've made notes that on the future presentations that I'll make after this will be done like this. All right, okay. So the pineal gland. The picture on the left shows us what our ancestors carved in stone, okay? And the picture on the right is our brain cut right down through the middle of our brain. So this is either the left hemisphere that you're seeing or the right hemisphere of the brain. But look at the pineal gland. You see the pineal gland, look at the shape. I'm talking about the shape. The shape of the actual pineal gland that is in our brain is just like this pineal gland here. This is the pineal gland. You see? You see? The pineal gland is this, which is this. Which is this. All right? So I want to walk you through this. I don't want to rush you through it. I want to educate you, all right? And see, there's something about being able to educate. I know some great educators. You know, I don't like calling a person that there's a difference in between an educator and a teacher. It's a difference. Someone that really takes pride in the way they teach is an educator. My mother, she was an educator, all right? It's a difference. See, I can come and teach you certain things, but if I really take my time, I'm educating, all right? So this, when you see this, when you see this, don't let anybody tell you it's evil. Okay, when they come and tell you it's evil, ask them to tell you what's evil about it. Don't listen to what people tell you, okay? Especially when it's about you, especially when it's about us. Why do people think they know more about black people than black people know about black people? I'll tell you why. Most people know more about black people than black people know about black people. This is a correctable error. All right? This is where we take corrective actions by saying, okay, we're going to educate ourselves. We're going to take preventive actions by saying, I'm not going to let anybody educate my children. You see how this works? All right? It's about evaluating a problem, first identifying a problem, evaluating a problem, writing corrective actions for the problem, preventative actions for the problem, then taking the actions. You just can't do all of these things and sit back and say, well, I wrote the corrective actions, I wrote the preventative actions, I'm done. No, now you go to work. You're never done. You're not put here on earth to be done. You're put here to do the work. Unless you have a defect, and then we work for them. Their work becomes our work. It's not a burden to a society of workers to take care of those that can. That's the difference in between an African tribal community that has not broken away from their cultural and historical teachings. Nobody's hungry, okay? Nobody needs to go to a nursing home, you know? don't throw the old away. You know, that's where all of your knowledge is. Okay, don't want to waste too much time. So don't let people come to you and tell you when they see you with something like this, that, oh, you switch to the other side, you're evil. Just, and once you ask them to tell you why it's evil, then explain to them why it's not. You have a presentation you can show them. You're showing them evidence. You're showing them the truth. All right. Let me back up and make sure I didn't miss anything. Okay. All right. We're going to go to the next slide. Now, you remember yesterday I told you, no, not yesterday, in the first presentation, part 1. Let me back up. Because the symbols, part 1 was talking about the symbols in Christianity that we need to understand. All right. So I mentioned that the symbol for the pineal gland in African Egyptian mythology was the pine cone. And we're going to trace it back now. And I mentioned that the pine cone is all throughout of the Christian religion, and people see it and don't connect it to the third eye. Okay? Because they're not seeing the eye of Horus. They say this is evil. But they'll see a pine cone and not connected to the third eye, and they're the same thing. That's why we need to understand images. Okay, so here's the statue of a pine cone in Vatican City. Now, if I went to Vatican City and said, "You're worshiping the devil," they say I'm crazy. But it's the same thing as the third eye. Got it? All right. We're doing good. All right, go down to the next. Remember I mentioned that Pope, his staff has a pine cone on it that he holds. You see the Pope's staff holding the pine cone? See, when the Greek came in and saw the pine cone as a main symbol of spirituality related to the connection to the universe in these things, they made it their symbol. And it became the symbol of Osiris. See? Okay, I blew this picture up because yesterday I was stumbling trying to minimize this and that and the other. It should have looked like this. I should have went from the first slide. I should have went from that slide right to this slide. Okay, so I wanted you to see the whole skyline of what I told you. I'm not going to go back through what I mentioned, everything in part 1, but I'm going to give you clarification so that you can see. This is the sun on the horizon when it's bright orange. Not only is the sun bright orange, but the orange illuminates the sky. Excuse me. This is when we need to be sun gazing, looking directly into the rays of the sun that are picked up by our eyeballs and reflected off of the pineal gland, and it decalcifies it when it reflects off of it. When it reflects off of the pineal gland, your consciousness it starts to rise. Your spirituality starts to wake up. All right? Hold on 1 second. Your spirituality starts to wake up. All right. Your senses and ability to see problems become more conscious. Okay, it's about becoming more conscious, just like when that baby comes out of the womb and sees that light for the first time. Feels somebody touching them for the first time. filling their organs and their stomach because now they have to eat. They're no longer on the biblical cord. Okay? So their consciousness keeps growing. All right? And what society needs and governments needs, they need us asleep. They don't need us awake and conscious and understanding and figuring out our problems. See, a lot of the things that are, well, everything that's going on is social. Well, I'm not going to say everything. Most of the things within our society are socially engineered. Okay, we didn't produce it. Okay, there's no way that that black people's luck is so bad that most black people, regardless of which country and nation or you're on, have the same problems. We're not that, we don't have that much bad luck. All right? And white people don't have that much good luck. That everywhere they are, they're rich and it's just, no, that's engineering. That is a construct. All right? So that's why I wanted to show this picture. All right? I'm going to take you back because once your pineal gland becomes functional on the spiritual level, okay, that's when you go and tell people, I don't want to play anymore. Time out. Okay? I don't want to play this game anymore. I'm going to tell you which game is down in the presentation. I put it together pretty good. All right? So that's what that is. All right, so let's go on to the next. You remember when I told you about the tree of knowledge? This is the tree of knowledge carved in stone in Egypt. And they're eating from the tree. Now, let me ask you this. What is the forbidden fruit? Okay. We always have had references that it's an apple. Okay. There's a scripture. I didn't think of this. I would have pulled a scripture for you. I think someone was asking Jesus, what kind of seed is this? What kind of seed is this? What kind of seed is it? And the answer was, you'll know the seed by the fruit that it bears, right? All right, well, what is the forbidden fruit? What is it? Okay? The forbidden fruit that came from the tree of knowledge, the forbidden fruit is knowledge. You're not supposed to eat knowledge. If you do that, oh man, whole world was destroyed because a man ate knowledge. Think about that. Why would a parent be mad at their child? Because first they asked a question. Second, because they made one mistake. And that mistake was you ate knowledge. You ate from the tree of knowledge, which means you had to eat knowledge. Okay? Doesn't add up. Wait, excuse me. Oh, wait a minute. Excuse me. Wait a minute. It sounds like an alarm clock. Y'all hear that? You hear that? It's an alarm clock. It's just going off. Some people don't do anything when they hear an alarm clock. Right? It's time to wake up. It's time to wake up. Now, what is it time to do when you wake up? Excuse me. What is it time to do when you wake up? It's time to get up. All right? So, the tree of knowledge. Now, they took our story and flipped it. All right? You see here the tree of knowledge. The woman is feeding her family, her husband, her child from the tree of knowledge. What good parent would not feed their child from the tree of knowledge. Think about it. I'll tell you something else, okay? It just came to me. You know, there's this myth about a black cat. You remember? Oh man, black cat, man. They're bad luck. Yeah, black cat is bad luck. And some people won't even cross the calf or black cat. They'll go the other way. See, fear is dangerous. Fear is dangerous. Believing is dangerous. So, where did all this stuff come from about the black cat? Tell you a secret. Shh. Don't tell everybody. All right? Make them come in this group if they want to know. It was a white cat that told everybody that the black cat is bad luck. Let me tell you what the black cat really is. If I known I was going to give you this, I'll pull a slide up somewhere later. But just look up. You do it. You do it. Okay? I'm gonna train you to do it. Okay? I'm not training you. I'm not training you. I'm showing you. See if I can show you something that you can hear. It'll work for you, not against you. All right. Search for what is the Egyptian mythology of the black cat. I'm gonna tell you what it is. The black cat. Matter of fact, and then pull up the images of black cats in Egyptian mythology. Black cats were the most sacred animal because, and everybody wanted one. They didn't want any other cat. The black cat was the protector of the home from evil spirits. Listen, if you take what we've been given and flip it 180 degrees, you'll be looking at the truth. So the black cat has never been considered anything of bad luck or of bad spirit. Not in our mythology and teachings. So where you get it from? You get it from white cat. I'm not saying it's racist. I'm just telling you that they flipped our mythology and made what was sacred and desired as, oh, you need to stay away from it. Everything that we had became, oh man, you don't want to do that? All right, so I don't want to stick there. All right, we're gonna walk on down through here. Just wanted to blow this picture up so that you could really get to see this baby in her mother's womb, receiving 9 months of baptism. And just think about this, all right? That baby is growing. So it's the alarm clock. Oh, it's the alarm clock again. Because I did what most people do. I hit the snooze button and lay on back down. All right. So I want you to get this concept in your mind in Egyptian mythology of how we came and how we were teaching our children we came in this world. Okay? And this is a true representation of what actually happens. Okay? When that baby comes down through the mother's birth canal and takes that first breath and becomes human, the spirit enters the human body that God just designed. Now there it is. Look at it. When that baby comes out, takes that first breath, the human journey begins. Got it? Don't let anybody tell you these things. I just want you to see how beautiful the goddess Ma'at is. All right? Those same wings on the dollar bill. They're everywhere. You'll see them everywhere. But I tell you what, now that I've shown you who she is and what she looks like, you won't miss her again. When you see her, you're gonna say, yeah, that's how I was too. Listen, ask the Europeans to show you some receipts. They say, hey, do you have any receipts for that? What, Christianity? No, we don't have any receipts. Sorry. We got a book. We don't have any receipts. When I say receipts, what I'm saying is, everything about Christian, everything about this modern European version. The King James Bible says it's his version. You know what the definition of version is? It means similar but different. Don't miss that. All right. So we need to educate ourselves, our children, and take it out of the hands of them. Because I'm showing you, they haven't educated us. They've indoctrinated us. All right. So this is us. Just don't want you to miss it. Don't let somebody. Don't have this. Don't be motivated by what I'm telling you. Just start doing what I'm doing and let people tell you what it is when they don't know what they're talking about. If you have this in your house and somebody comes in and tells you it's evil, you need to be able to tell them, wait a minute, hold up. I'm not gonna let you talk about us like that. All right? I can't come in your house and talk bad about the things you have in your house. I've had people that just want to just talk to me like, oh. Okay, well, go ahead with that. All right, we don't have time for it. Just wanted to blow up the picture big of the judgment so that you can see it, so that it's in this presentation, you know, so that you can see, here's more. All right, all of these images have names. Now, let me explain this to you. I didn't go over this in part 1, so they're gonna have to come to part 2 to hear this part. All right, why do these gods have heads of animals and birds? Why? You know, I don't want people to say, well, I don't want to know. That's a dog's head. You gotta remember, 80% of the population was illiterate during these times, okay? So, and they use these images as for educational tools to the youth, to the children. So, if you're gonna educate, you have to educate on a level of understanding, all right? You can't tell people, well, all right, we're getting up this time, all right? That's it, we up, all right? I just wanted to give you just a little, you know, make it fun while we educate. So my point is, you have to educate on a level of one's understanding. So if you have a group of people, PhDs and first graders. No, let's say PhDs and 10th graders, or 12th, you know, 12th grade, PhDs and 10th graders, or 8th, middle high school. You have to set up your education program somewhere just above the lowest level that you're trying to educate. If you have these people in the room and you put an educational program together on a doctoral level, you're not educating. Okay? So this is why you have the heads of animals and things like that. It's because 80% of the population was illiterate, and the children, you don't want to leave them behind. We talked about the zodiac chart, and I'm not going to go into this right here because it's something further down. But if you notice, where is Aquarius? Right here, there's a man. You see this man right here? He's pouring water. You see the water? He's pouring water out of a jug. You see it? That's significant to biblical scriptures. And if you don't tie astrology and astrotheology to all religions, you'll never figure out what they're telling you, because it ties to this. And I'm gonna mention it while we're here because it's down on the lower slide. But there's a scripture says where Jesus tells the disciples, I think they were looking for the upper room, and he says, go into the city and you will find a man with a jug of water. Follow him into his house. Now, okay, what's significant about a man carrying a jug of water and pouring water? Well, during this biblical time, or in this time period, Men didn't carry water. Women carried the water. It was a woman's task. Okay? No men carried water. During this time frame, biblical time frame, it was a woman's task. It would be an insult in the Hebrew culture for a man to be seen carrying water. That's why it's significant. That's why I wanted to put the astrology chart on that page, on that home page. Okay, got it? All right, now we're back to the part 2 of the presentation, which bled off, which 1 and 2 go together. I really was going to put two parts together. We'll just keep it going. All right, so this is when we were talking about in part 1, but seek ye first the kingdom of God and all his righteousness. All right, and the question was, would God tell us to seek anything that we can't find and have live? So why do Christians believe we need to die to go to heaven? What can be added unto us after death? Because it says here in Matthew 6:33, but seek ye first the kingdom of God and all his righteousness, and all of these things shall be added onto you. You have to add them onto you while you are alive. Okay? Gotta show you something. Gotta show you something. Gotta tie this in. We're gonna do this one time. Let's see. Luke 17:21. Now, Luke 17:21. All right. Boy. Hold tight. 17:21. Well, I'm not gonna waste time. Luke 17:21. You look it up. Because the Bible tells you where heaven is. Luke 17, verses 20 and 21 says, the Pharisees were asking Jesus, when will we see this heaven that you keep telling us about? I'm narrating it a little bit. When will we see this heaven that you tell us about come down from the sky? When? So Jesus answers them and says, heaven will not be an observation. Okay? It won't be low here or low there, for the kingdom of God is within you. And it depends on which version you read. It will either say that the kingdom of heaven is within you. It will say that God's abode, which means his home, is within you. Or it will say home, and it's the kingdom of heaven, God's abode. And it's another one I can't remember. I'm not going to get stuck on it. All right? And if it were being taught right, nobody would be waiting to die to go to heaven. You'd be in heaven. Okay? And in harmony. Okay? Got it? All right. All right. Oh, there it is right there. There it is. I already had it. All right. So we're good. All right. You remember when I was telling you the Aquarius wheel? Here are the verses about the man carrying the water. All right. And it is in Matthew 28, verse 20. And it says, teach them. No. Here it is. It's not on this page. All right. But this is what we went over in part 1. That the end of the world is not the end of the world. It is the end of the age. Okay. The age of Aquarius. Right? The age of Aquarius is what Jesus was telling his disciples to go into the city and follow the man carrying the jug of water into his house. It's saying, let me back up. It's saying, we're getting ready to come out of the age of Pisces We're getting ready to come out of this house of the two fish. But Jesus fed 5,000 people with two fish and 5 loaves of bread. Now, the little boy that carried the 2 fish and 5 loaves of bread, I think, how big do you think the boy was? It didn't say little boy. He said to the boy. How big do you think he was to be able to carry 2 fish big enough to feed 5,000 people? It wasn't 2 fish that he was feeding them. He was feeding them the age of Pisces, which is the symbol, the astrology sign of the fish. Let me show you something else. Google, what is the definition of the age of Pisces? Watch this. The age of Pisces is defined as the age of deception. That's why you have to understand astrology, right? Check it for yourself. You know, I can't. As things, you know, when you put a presentation together, and you're doing it, you see things that, wow, I should have put this in this presentation. Okay, so the age of Pisces, the definition of the age of Pisces is the age of deception. Okay, right? Let's see, where are we? We just did that. All right, we just did that. All right, now. It's very important that we understand this. All right, I'm gonna take let's see, we had 45, 46 minutes. All right, we're gonna finish this up. Let's see how far. We only got like maybe 2 slides to go. So we're in good shape. All right. The foundation of racism is what we're talking about. All right. You don't build a house from the roof down. You start in the hole with the footer. That's the foundation, right? What does this house stand on? It stands on the foundation. What is racism, bigotry, race supremacy? What does it stand on? It stands on a foundation, right? So the question is, what is the human race? Well, first, let's define race. Race is a competition established to, race is a competition to establish one winner and a loser, or a bunch of losers, because you can only have one winner. All right. So what is the definition of the human race? The human race was created back in the 1700s, 1800s. It's in the Dr. Claude Anderson speech when he speaks with the Breakfast Club. All right. And the human race was designed that whites always come in first and blacks always come in last. All right. So it's really not a human race. It's a human con game race to make one race superior and guaranteeing that that's white. And the bottom has always got to be black people. I mean, this is history that is documented, not just by recall, but by laws. They made laws to ensure. You know, it was illegal for a black man to look out of the same window as a white man. Laws. Okay? So I'm not making it up. Don't have to. Where are we here now? All right. So, you know, we can't let the indoctrination be passed on. That is a parent's responsibility. That is an ethnic group's responsibility. Okay? So we just need to turn it off. We need to wake up. That's all we need to do. Well, we need to do more than that. We need to wake up and then we need to get up. All right? So we're working on these things, right? So in here on this page, just read through it. All right? Just read through this. All right? This is information that all right. Down at the bottom, well, we're talking about hieroglyphics. Okay. Hieroglyphics is the first written language. All right. So if you break down the word hieroglyphics into the two root words, you have hiero and you have glyphics. Now, the definition of the root word hiero means sacred, holy. I have started to show you things that are in the Bible, like here. This is in the Bible. This is the judgment. That's in the Bible. Where is it? It's on the hieroglyphics. You see it? That's why I put this picture here together. This is the hieroglyphics. This is the hieroglyphics. What did it say hieroglyphics are? Sacred and holy. See? You got to tie them together. I'm not making it up. I'm tying it together. Remember something. These two eyes see the illusions and get you in trouble. The third eye, the spiritual eye, is the one that leads you. Once you get good at it, it will lead you around the trouble. You won't even get in it. That's why I'm teaching this. Okay? So, what is the definition of the word glyphics? It means writings. You put it together and you have the book of the holy sacred writings. What's inside the Bible? Okay, on the front of the Bible, let's take King James. It says I had to just remember that everything inside the Bible is considered sacred and holy. All right. This is our story. This is our story that they have doctored. Let me show you something. It was never the Egyptian teachings and culture that a woman was below a man. That's the Egyptian. That's the European teaching. Women have to be quiet in church. That's not us. Okay? So we need to stick with ours. Because let me tell you something. This European system hates women almost as much as they hate black people. And that's the conversion. That's part of the conversion from the Egyptian mythology into the European Christianity teachings. Okay? Egyptian women never had to fight for rights and march and go through, we want to vote. It's a European thing. That's their thing. Let them have their thing. Okay? But we need to know. Listen, if you had money that you could go get any dream car you wanted, if you could go get any dream car you wanted, all right? And you wanted a Mercedes-Benz, a BMW, or Audi, or whatever it was, and on your way to the dealer, would you let somebody come to you and tell you, I got a version of that, and nobody would know that it's not a BMW? It's cheaper. Would you buy that knockoff, or would you go and get that BMW or that Bentley? This is the knockoff they gave us. I don't want the knockoff. Here's the Bentley right here. Here's the Bentley. This is the BMW. No, this is the Bentley. This is the Mercedes. That's the Kia. They gave us a Kia. Right? I don't want a Kia. I want a Bentley. All right? I want a Bentley. I want a BMW. I want a Kia. You keep the Kia. That's your Kia. That's not my Kia. So I'm showing you these things so that we come out of this confusion of trying to figure out their story. We have a story, okay? So let's keep that in mind, all right? All right, that's the end of the slides for this presentation. And I hope you learned something. I hope that it is waking up something in you that you're gonna want to come back and say, I want to see what Ray's doing over there. Well, hit the subscribe button, right? Please hit the subscribe button, hit the like and share, okay? I need to go over this. I'm glad I remembered it. I should have did it at the top. I'll do it on the next one at the top, but those that have made it this far, how to communicate with me. I'm not going to turn on the comments because this site is, I've registered it that kids can come here, all right? Because there's no need of me doing this for the adults. Anybody my age that's just learning this, it's good to know so you can teach your grandchildren, but it does me no good at this age to learn this, all right? So for me to do this and not make it available for the youth, all the way down to 3, 4, 5 years old, I would be wasting my time. We have to start at the youth, okay? So the channel for The Truth May Hurt is set up for youth, and I cannot allow someone coming in the comment section because their feelings are hurt and they want to just tell me I don't know what I'm talking about. I'm not going to turn on the comments right now, okay? So to contact me, please use my email address right here. Send me an email. And another option is on Facebook. Contact me in Messenger. All right. You can tell me anything you want to tell me. If you want to tell me about myself, I have to protect this channel, right? And they're very strict, and they will shut me down. I'm already, exposing things that people are not gonna like, right? So I can't give them. I have to make this channel fail-safe, okay? Fail-safe means when you identify something that can fail, you take preventative actions before you have a failure. And say, here's what I can do now so that it doesn't fail. And right now, my fail-safe mechanism is leave the comment section off. Okay? So the people that have feelings, the only way that they can reach me is by email or Messenger on Facebook. YouTube will never see it. They can't hurt me with that, right? Have your way. I understand. I'm not gonna get mad at you if you send me an email and it's obnoxious or belligerent and these kind of things. I understand your feelings. My job is not to let you change my atmosphere, my frequency, my vibrations, okay? I can't, lower. And see, everything that they did in these things, they were to keep our frequency at a low level. Telling us that the third eye's evil. Hide my eye. What the real meaning of the Ankh, okay? Just putting labels on our stuff like, oh, boogeyman, okay? At the same time, you want to teach Santa Claus. Come on, we don't have time for that. So if you want to contact me, please send me an email or look me up on Messenger and Facebook. You'll see me. You'll recognize my face. All right? And we'll make it happen. All right? And I would like to thank everybody that is taking time to watch this presentation. Please give me feedback, positive and negative. And we'll be putting together the next video coming up in the next few days. All right, everybody, Ashe. And if you haven't told anybody that you love them today, Tell them that you love them. All right. That's one thing we take for granted, that people know they're loved. No, they don't. Okay. And let me mention this. All right. And I'm going to end this. All right. One of the most important things and special things that you can do for a person is to just look at them and tell them that you love them, and not let it be a cliche. I told in the first part one, I love everybody. And I tell everybody I love them. And I do. Okay? All right? I'm not in love with them. Don't get love mixed up with the emotions of being in love. I fall or I fell in love. Now you got to listen to that. When you say I fell in love, I mean you came down from where you were. I fell in love. Okay? All right? Sometimes you have to lower your frequency to fall in love. Sometimes you have to come down in your atmosphere, because our heads will get big. Oh, I'm all of this and I'm all of that. Well, okay, well, go ahead and get a puppy, get a cat, roll with a dog. Okay, it's a compromise. Okay, so yeah, we're gonna stop this here. Hope the information that you got was a blessing to you. I hope that you take Ma'at Imhotep with you, and I hope it's nothing. Now when you start waking up and you start telling people what you're experiencing here, and wow, and you're feeling it, be careful, because they're gonna reject you. Go slow. They're gonna call you crazy. They're gonna call you Antichrist. They're gonna say all of these bad things, but they're not true. They're no more true than the lies they told about these things here. Are they true? No, they're not true. All right, so be patient. Don't feel like Paul Revere, that you have to jump on a horse and start riding around telling everybody, that the British are coming. Okay, because you're gonna be rejected. The one thing that I wasn't prepared for at all is when I started doing this, and I found out how many people were going to turn their back on me. Family and friends. I think I may have. As far as the people I grew up with, let me see, Cliff, Greg, Terry, maybe 3 people. Family, I'm not even going to mention family, because that's family, right? Gotta keep people out of that. I'm gonna keep it general. In general, the people that you grew up with, the people that you've known, they're gonna walk away. All right. So be prepared for that, and don't let it discourage you, because I'm telling you, I have better friends now than I ever had, because they're friends. And I'm not saying that because all of them believe what I'm saying. Is that they have chosen to not bash me, because I've grown out of something. I mean, listen, I don't wear size 10 shoes anymore. I don't, if you saw me walking around with a size, it's like, man, why has Ray got half of his foot in that shoe? Okay? I don't wear a size 40 suit. Listen, your clothes not gonna fit me. Not a bad thing. All right. Now, if you would have put my clothes on and you wear a size 40 suit, everybody would look at you and like, what's wrong with him? Can he see that suit doesn't fit? Okay. And that's the problem. We have been putting on clothes that don't fit us, shoes that hurt our feet, eating food that was never, should have been in our diet. And as I mentioned, back in the 60s and stuff, black women would take that hot iron and put it through their hair and have little burn marks all on their ears and behind their head, For what? You're beautiful as you are. As I said for today, Ashe.